Hello, good morning. It's just gone 9 AM on Tuesday the 8th of April and I'm out for a 50-mile bike ride from my hometown of Bath, and currently I'm on the Fossway. I'm riding up a few miles and then I'm going to intersect a circuit on the Athelstan Pilgrim Way. It's a new 100-mile series of circuits for walkers and cyclists, visiting 36 churches in North Wiltshire. I went to the first of those churches recently on the second last video down from this, and today I'm going to rejoin that circuit and visit another 6 churches, including what's said to be the smallest working church in the United Kingdom. So I'm high up on the Fossway, climbed out of Bath, a long banner down, and I'm just dropping down into one of these wonderful valleys as the road goes up and down, up and down. We've just passed underneath the M4 motorway. We've been on the Fossway for about 13.5 miles, joined it on the outskirts of Bath at Bath Ford. So it's been tarmac up to now, but this particular bit of tarmac bends off to the right and then curls back in the left. But the Fossway carries on along here, and it is a byway, which means you can ride it. Got legal access to it. Let the postie go. Oh, he's coming back. Right. So this is one of the many sections of off-road on this part of the Fossway. I'm on the first section of off-road then from Bath, and as we did last time, we'll rejoin the tarmac along there in about a mile, and then we'll carry on past where we turned left recently on the video 2 down below this, carry on the Fossway dead straight until that gets to a T-junction, and actually it's a crossroads because you'll see the Fossway going straight on. We turn right there and then we're very close to our first church. So we're in effect doing a big circuit around south of Malmesbury, and then we'll head back to Bath a different way. We're now back on the tarmac section of the Fossway, and this is where we turned left recently, opposite that wonderful house there with that tower and the gold weather vane. That's where we turned left towards Alderton. So we could have gone to St Giles today, but I just think 7 churches in one ride is a little bit too much. So we're going to carry on up towards Norton there. That sign said Shurston, Norton and Foxley, and all 3 of those we're going to today because all 3 have got churches we're visiting. We're going to carry on up here to a tarmac T-junction, although actually if you look at it as the Fossway, it's a crossroads because the gravel track goes straight on following the course of the Fossway. But this time we're going to turn right on one of these left to right crisscross roads, go to our first church, Norton, over there. As I said last time, geographically the Fossway has just changed dramatically. The first 14 miles of this ride from Bath was steeply wooded valleys up and down, crossing little streams, and now it's just suddenly become very flat and agricultural. After about another mile on the Fossway, we've come up to what is a tarmac T-junction. Shurston that way, Hallavington and Norton that way. That's our first church. As you can see, as regards to Fossway, it's a crossroads, and that's where the really long stretches of off-road gravel start, all rideable on a push bike. So at this junction we're bang on 17 miles in, and here's my list of churches. All Saints at Norton, 18 miles. So turn right here, about a mile, that's our first one. Then they come thick and fast, as you can see, 19.5, 20.5, 22.5, 24.5, and then 27, and that's when we'll head back down to Bath. So that's about halfway, just over halfway of today's route. So the churches section starts now, the Athelstan Way. Within a mile we're in the small hamlet of Norton. It's mostly big detached manor houses and farms, and you come down here towards Athelstan, and there's a turning towards Foxley and Malmesbury. Foxley would be our next church, but just on this junction, slightly offset off to the right, there's the brown to the church sign. That'd be so easy to come down here and miss it. Okay, let's go and have a look. I've been down this road so many times, never been up here. Well, why would I? Because it's a no-through road. Gosh, there's some money around here. There's a gate in the wall with a cross in front of me. I'm guessing that might be the churchyard. And that's just a track round into a farm, private residence. So here's our first church, Norton. As I said, this would be so easy to miss. I understand most of the churches on this route will be open during daylight hours anyway, and I've got my pilgrim passport with me, so I'm collecting the stamps. I've got one so far, so the first thing I'll be doing is looking for the stamp, I think, when we go inside. I'm told if the churches are locked, the stamp will be in the porch, but we shall see. Okay, church number 1. Gosh, look at that open bell tower. That's amazing. Just before we go in the church, I've come prepared then. There's the leaflet for the Athelstan Pilgrim Way. It's got some maps on there which I can show you what we're doing. There's 6 benefices. Basically, they've got circuits around them. It may look a bit complex, but actually they're shaded. So we're on the Goulsbrook circuit. Can you see the Fossway coming up there? Comes right the way through it. Then the Malmesbury circuit, it's got the Fossway on the edge of it, and then the Braden Brook circuit, that's the Fossway on the edge of it. You can see the Fossway is ideal to get to these 3 circuits. And then there's the other 3 circuits, the Draycott, Woodbridge and the Upper Thames. So today we've come to do this. We're at Norton there, then we go on to Foxley, then Bremelham. That's where the smallest church in the country is. Then Easton Gray, Shurston, and finish at Luckington. And can you see there's Alderton? That was the first one we went to on the last trip. Not going to revisit today. I think 6 churches is more than enough. When we get to our 6th church today, I'll just head back to Bath that way. And I've got my pilgrim passport with me. It's like a giant brevet card. So I'm going to go in, start looking for the stamps. So there we are, All Saints Norton. So let's go and find the stamp and have a look around this lovely church. Wooden door on the outside of the porch with a chicken wire net to keep all the birds out. Once they get in, churches are very hard to get out. So no stamp outside, so hopefully the church is going to be open and we can collect it inside. Oh, it's quite dark. Musty smelling. I think I can see the stamp already. Oh, lovely little village church, isn't it? Put some lights on. Yeah, that one I think's handy. Oh, there's the stamp. As last time, it was in like a little Tupperware. This feels a little bit like train spotting or stamp collecting. I'm actually quite excited to start getting the stamps. If you saw the last video, you'll notice my eyesight's so bad I didn't notice all the writing around each circle. So I just put the stamp in the first one, and then I suddenly realised it should have been down here somewhere. Only afterwards in the sunlight I realised what I'd done. So 2 of the stamps will be out of sequence. So that's in another church's circle. So when I get to that church, I'll put their stamp in the St Giles Alderton, if that makes sense. But I've made a point of researching this, so I know exactly what I'm doing today. There we are, Norton. There's my stamp. Good firm press. I still don't get it up right. So there's my second one. That's a nice little touch, isn't it? Look out for these small little Tupperwares each church you go to for the stamps. So, All Saints, let's go and have a look. That's the bell tower at the back, I believe. Is it open? So this is almost like the ringing room, isn't it? It's just office come ringing room, because there's a rope up to the bell tower. And all the utility boxes there, meters and everything. So West Tower. Then up the nave. Very woody in here, as you can see. Nicely carved pulpit with the steps up to it. Quite a mini pulpit really, isn't it? Then a pump organ, then up the step into the chancel, the choir pews, and up to the altar rail. Oh gosh, that purple colour just gives that such depth of feeling, doesn't it? So I think it's a north porch, isn't it? Yeah, north porch, that would be facing south. Which is a little bit unusual. It's not that rare, but most porches are normally from the south. That'd be the east window. Gosh, almost barn-like, isn't it? Wonderful stone arch. Just have a walk up into the pulpit. Looking down on the congregation. The churchyard looked really, really nice. I'm going to go and have a look around that, but I've just spotted all these drawings down here. Let's go and see what it says about that. There's a drawing, the old vicarage house at Norton, 1836. Look at that wonderful bell tower. That's probably the standout feature of this church, I think, for me. And there's 1858, that drawing of the church, I believe. Can't see a visitor's book, otherwise I would have signed it. I always think it's important to sign a visitor's book. I think the more visitors they can prove come, that the more in line for funding they are. That's as I understand it. I always do try to sign the visitor's book. Easter cards everywhere, that's just around the corner, isn't it? Okay, let's make sure to just turn all these lights out. Let's go and have a look at this wonderful churchyard. There's 9 churches in the Goresbrook group. So we visited St Giles at Alderton on the previous visit, so that's number 1. We're visiting 6 today, so that makes 7. Then I'm going to keep the final 2 for an adjoining circuit, if that makes sense. Right underneath the tower, yeah, it was the West Tower, wasn't it? That open, almost Greek style arches and that weather vane. Gosh, wander round. As usual, it looks like an ancient churchyard and maybe an extension into a more modern one. These look like more recent graves, don't they? You're just surrounded by this big farm. Yeah, these are all in the 2000s. And then through into the ancient churchyard. Beautiful church, that bell tower is stunning. Okay, let's have a wander around. Yeah, this is definitely the south aspect with the sun. And look, it looks like it used to have a south porch there, look, just been sealed. That's more normal really for church design. South porch, west tower, and then the nave, and then the chancel facing east. There's the east window. I know I say it so often, but I never get bored of reminding people. I've ridden by here so many times, that junction where it would be easy to overshoot this church. I've ridden by that dozens and dozens of times, probably getting on for 100, maybe even more. And I've never realised there was a church up here. So it shows when you've got a theme and you come looking for things, you just spot so many new things. That was the way we came in. Ivy wrapped all around that tree. Then the north porch, that wonderful tower. Let's head to our next church at Foxley. I noticed today some of the churches don't seem to be dedicated to any saints. Little ford here, dried up at the moment. Within a few yards we get to the Vine Tree Public House. I just noticed they got this board outside their car park, and it looks like we're on another walking way, the White Walls Way. So there's quite a good map there. So we're at Norton, just leaving, heading up to Foxley. Then Bremerham was just along there. Then we dogleg back. This is pretty much where we're heading. Easton Grey, Shurston, Luckington. And then that was our first church last time. When we get to Luckington, we will head back down towards the Bath and Bristol bike track there. You can see how nice it is along here, can't you? Right, let's carry on. And as we come up to this T-junction, here's the boundary sign for Foxley. This is the road I know very well. If I was coming up to Malmesbury, this is the way I would come. Where that white van is there, there's a T-junction. We're going to turn right, and there's the church there. The white van will be going past it now. Foxley Church. And the clock says midday. I don't know if it is yet. If it is, I'm not sure where the morning's gone. The more familiar architecture, West Tower, South Porch. Can't really see a distinction in design for the chancel. And then the outer porch door with the chicken wire net, again, keep the birds out. Once again, hat off, going in churches. Got my pilgrim passport. I actually have been in here before. I was just passing on the ride and I popped in out of curiosity. But today I've come with a purpose, more of a theme. Notice boards outside. Foxley Parish Church, the Goresbrook group of churches. Don't think there's a dedication. We want you to enjoy our church and surrounding land as much as we do. Please take care when walking around our ancient churchyard. Some of the graves are unmarked and are just a grass covered raised mound which can make walking difficult. Tells you about the wildlife around the churchyard. Foxley Parish Church, the Goresbrook group of churches. Okay, let's go and find our stamp. Oh yes, I remember this. This feels much more ancient, steeped in history. Each church has its own feel and atmosphere. Oh gosh. There is a little chancel. It's more like a chapel, isn't it? The altar. Okay. It's like the Thankful Villagers plaques. I start spotting them instantly. There's a stamp with its ink pad. And then there's the correct box, just checking, yeah, Foxley. My next stamp. There we are, Foxley. As usual, checking the visitors book. And there was somebody visited on the 17th of February. I think that must be the 10th or the 12th of the 3rd, 19th, 22nd of the 3rd. Today is the 8th of April. Haven't even signed it. I've just put the 8th of the 4th, 25, from Bath, cycling the Athelstan Pilgrim Way. Gosh, really much older wooden roof beams here. East window there, but not in the chancel. There's a screen there, look. Bell tower at the back. Thick heavy duty curtains you'll often get across, keep the cold out in the winter, heat in. Into the chancel. St Simon, St Philip, St Jude, St John, St James the Less, St Matthias, and 2 undedicated. Lovely church, lovely stained glass windows. 3 panes, Holy Trinity I'm guessing. Lots of brass work on the altar. Keen to go and have a look at the churchyard actually. As always, make sure I've turned out all the lights okay. Let's go and have a look around the churchyard. Just looking at the porch. There's the wrought iron gateway we came through. So we came in from that way, and that road will be heading that way towards Malmesbury. And the Athelstan Pilgrim Way really is centred around Malmesbury. Athelstan was the first king of a united England, and he chose Malmesbury as his capital, and he's buried there. I believe he died in 969, but if I've got that wrong I'll put it on the screen now. Believe it or not, I've been to Malmesbury many times, never ever been in the Abbey, and I will be going in the Abbey on this pilgrimage to look for the stamp. And also I just feel like it's time to actually go in the Abbey. I can see what they mean about the graves, so I'm going to have to turn the camera on. Take a lot of care here. You can see there's sunken graves. Just hear bird song everywhere. Lovely little Cotswold stone church, isn't it? Oh, bird song everywhere. Vicarage, rectory I'm guessing. Doorway into the bell tower. There's that funny little bit jutting out. Spring everywhere. Gosh, look at these ancient graves. Oh, look at that birdhouse on a stand. Gosh, manicured garden. Foxley Parish Church, ladies and gentlemen. Gosh, look at the gargoyles coming off. They look like lead pipes from here. I'm seeing them in silhouette. They look like lead pipes opened up with teeth to make them look like some kind of reptile, crocodile or something, serpent. So our next church is Bramleham Chapel. It's said to be the smallest working church in the country. And it's on a farm. We're going to leave the church, carry on towards Malmesbury that way, look at this farm. Again, it's a road I've ridden along so many times I cannot place what I'm looking for, and then we would double back on ourselves. Plaque up on the wall there. Okay, let's fire up the Garmin, head that way. Okay, dog leg left for about a mile to this farm where the chapel is, and then we'll be doing a U-turn and coming back this way. So heading towards church number 3 today. Oh, within about half a mile we're here. This is Cowage Farm. We go down here and the chapel's on here somewhere. It's set up on a mound. Can't see it from here. The guidebook does say it's dwarfed and surrounded by farm buildings, overshadowed. But a memory's just flashed back. When I used to ride with Bath CTC, this is round about the millennium, early noughties. I remember coming along here, and somewhere down here, it could have been on this estate, there was what looked like a Persian golden spire. It looked like a bit of the Kremlin had just been planted down here. Don't think it's here anymore, but if anybody watching this video knows the area and remembers that and what the relevance was, you know, please feel free to comment below. So gone down to look for this chapel. Bremelham Chapel we're looking for. I've got the GPS track down to it, so I'm just following. I can see it's going to be along here and then round to the right somewhere, coming up to a dead end. Oh gosh, wall clock on that barn. Oh, there it is, Bremelham Chapel. This is said to be the smallest church in the country. Let's go and have a look. Seems to be a really well kept estate, but looks like an old petrol or diesel pump for farm vehicles. So this is it. I believe the clergy stand in the porch and do the service here, and then the congregation are outside. So, do we get inside? Where's the stamp going to be? I just don't know. Bremelham Chapel. Looks like it had an open bell tower at some point. Can we get inside? Let's go and have a look. Oh gosh, it is open. Gosh, I've got those umbrellas. Oh, I was saying that the congregation stand outside. So that must be what the umbrellas are for. Font. The jug there. Oh, there's the stamp. Oh gosh, what a wonderful little place. To aid my vision when I am out and about, rather than keep bringing reading glasses, I've actually downloaded an app on my phone which is a magnifier, so I've been using that so I can make sure I'm putting the stamps in the right boxes. Bremelham Chapel, Foxley, and there's the stamp. Once again, I don't think that's up right properly. Wow, that's wonderful. Once again, I've ridden along that road so many times, never really clocked there was a farm here, certainly never knew there was a chapel here, and it was England's smallest church. So I came up from the south, visited Foxley along here, and then we're going to do a U-turn and head back that way. So here's my list. We're at Bremelham Chapel at the moment, 20.5 miles, and in 2 miles going back that way we're going to Easton Grey at 22.5, and it's not midday, it's coming up to about 11:45, so I'll probably head there for my lunch and then do the 2 following churches this afternoon after lunch. Being little circuits from Bath, I can do whatever I want. I could go into Malmesbury and visit the Abbey, but I just want to leave that to another day actually. So next stop, 2 miles time, Easton Grey Church, back out that way. Oh, this is wonderful. It's much closer to Foxley Church than I thought it would be. So back that way, the way we came in, and then we're heading towards Easton Grey.